In 1999, thanks to the voters of Des Moines, a 10-year 1-cent local option sales tax began to turn aging Des Moines public schools into 21st century classrooms. Today, 30 schools are either complete or about to be renovated. But when the sales tax comes to an end in 2010, more than 24 Des Moines schools with thousands of students and hundreds of teachers will have been untouched. Let's take a look at what the sales tax has meant for Des Moines and what options will allow the remaining schools to be renovated.
Schools First was an initiative that was started in 1999 when voters approved a Polk County local option sales tax in order to fund school renovations, new school construction, and to purchase technology for schools in order to create the kind of 21st century learning environments that all students deserve.
Through our approximately $300 million initiative, we have been able to touch all portions of our community. Through schools, the north, the south, the east, and west. So many of our buildings have been impacted. To me, the best way to describe Schools First is creating opportunities for students. And it's one the only funding sources that we have to accomplish that. We are able to not only create better, more 21st century classrooms, but we're also able to make staff and students comfortable in those spaces.
I think this is good for Des Moines to be able to preserve beautiful buildings such as this. I know we're starting to work on Roosevelt High School, and that's a beautiful school as well, Lincoln High School. Look at those buildings. Would you like to tear them down and start over, or would you like to preserve them? We've chosen to preserve them so that when people drive by a building like this, they can admire its architecture, but also know that inside the 21st century education is taking place.
Preserving and improving a building and creating new learning environments means working with each school to showcase its own personality. And part of that personality is the school's relationship with the community around it.
Well, at Carver, we were able to, through a great collaboration, we were able to develop a Boys and Girls Club and a Not New shop, which is very unique to schools. It really should be a trend that we look at very hard. Whenever you bring people together and collaborate collectively, you can accomplish a lot more than you can individually. So having the ability to bring the community into our schools is very important.
In 2005, the halfway point of the school's first plan, the district saw that unforeseen challenges would mean changes to the original plan.
Well, in 1999, the school district put together a proposal to address the infrastructure needs of the school district. And of course, at that time, they didn't anticipate the 9/11 economy and the opening of Jordan Creek Mall in Dallas County. And so the revenues did not end up being as projected. They fell short. Therefore, in 2005, there was a mid-program review and some adjustments made to the Schools First plan.
Well, we had a number of unforeseen challenges as part of our Schools First program. One would be, and it was a major challenge to us, is inflation. With 9/11, with construction inflation, some years nearing double digit, we just couldn't do as many things as we wanted to do. The construction in the metro area has been significant, and the costs of doing business in the metro area is significant. There's a lot of work in the past few years here, not only in our school district, but in school districts and in the industries that are around us. So we were stretching the workforce, and sometimes you pay a premium for doing that.
Now, with only a couple short years remaining in the existing sales tax, the district took another look at what can be accomplished with the remaining funds.
Recently, we just had a revision to the Schools First program, and that has repositioned us.
There were some recommendations that I took to the board a couple of months ago about changing what was identified as some components of the mid-program review. The board agreed. We think that we are maximizing every dollar that's remaining in the sales tax budget to address many needs, both the renovation of Roosevelt High School, Jackson Elementary, Central Campus programs, Wallace Homestead Building, finish out the projects that we're currently involved with, Hillis Elementary and Samuelson Elementary, for example. And so we have really looked at how to get the most out of every dollar that's remaining.
When the sales tax expires, 24 school buildings serving several thousand students will still be waiting for much-needed renovations.
With the sales tax ending in 2010, which is just around the corner in terms of school planning, we're looking at some options to fund infrastructure needs for the future. One would be that we could return to the Polk County voters and ask them to approve an extension of the local option sales tax. The other is that we could speak to our legislators who are contemplating implementing a statewide tax. That makes sense to us since all 99 counties in Iowa have approved the local option tax, and in fact 24 counties have re-upped it, 24 of 24 counties. So we see that as a very strong mandate that Iowans want to support the schools, want to support the infrastructure needs and the technology needs to create the appropriate kind of learning environments that all children want to have and should have.
We think the public should support this proposal for a lot of reasons. It doesn't take the voter out of the calculation, and I think that's a real myth about the proposal. Instead of voting to approve a sales tax on a countywide basis, there is still a local conversation between the school district when they pass a revenue purpose statement, and it's really just a highfalutin word for an infrastructure plan. They're going to have a building plan. And the school board has to publicly notice that and put it in the newspaper, and they have public meetings to get input. And then they put that plan forward. And if the voters think the district is going in the wrong direction, they can challenge that at the polls. And if it doesn't pass, the law requires that the school district use their sales tax money to buy down property taxes. So the local district taxpayer still has a choice and a voice in where that revenue is going to go. We think they have a stronger accountability voice than they do under the current law.
The local option sales tax, if it were to be repealed and then replaced with a statewide tax, does not add an additional penny to the tax system in this county. Some people are confused about that. Actually, it replaces the penny that people are already paying. So we want to make sure people understand that it's not an additional tax on top of what they're currently paying.
In addition to helping Des Moines finish renovating our school buildings, a statewide sales tax would make it easier for schools across Iowa to plan for future upgrades.